What's up, Dunwoody? Welcome back to the podcast all about Dunwoody, Georgia. My name is Matt Weber. Show is brought to you by Dr. Brett Friedman with Village Orthodontics and Discover Dunwoody. Hope you are ready to tell me all about this year's Dunwoody Preservation Trust Lemonade Days. So 25th year, right?
Yes. I do want to I do want to state annual because there was that one year
You don't
that
have to
the
point that
world.
out to everybody. It's fine.
Okay, no,
We
okay, yes,
understand that COVID year.
yeah, okay. So yes, this year marks the 25th anniversary of the Dunwoody Preservation Trust Lemonade Days, and it is really, I think, a big achievement, not just for those of us who have a part and all of the village and putting it on, but also for the city of Dunwoody for embracing it for all these years
Yes.
and letting us be such a big part of this community, because it's more than just the festival rides and the food and beverage and the bands. It's really, I think it's kind of our big community fair, and people look forward to it every year. And the smiles and the love and the laughter is just what it's about.
It is. And the city does really help with it. Everybody always says, because, I kind of do the same thing with the parade. And people are always like, well, it's not a city-run parade. But I'm like, well, the city does a lot. They definitely, we couldn't do it without the city. That's for sure.
Gosh, no. I mean, I'm glad you said that early on, because the festival is a partnership between a lot of entities, and first and foremost the city of Dunwoody, because to allow us to do this ginormous 5-day event in the park and basically take it over,
Right.
is a real testimony to how they feel Lemonade Days is important for our community. So first of all, the partnership with the city, which goes way beyond just giving us the festival.
Yeah.
It's the support of their communications department. It's making sure they're getting our information out. It's the Dunwoody Police Department, our
They're
finest.
there every day. They show up on July 4th, the morning of July 4th. The entire police force shows up.
And
it's amazing.
I mean, it's huge. And this is my 10th year producing. And I talk about it's a festival family. I love every year. I see a lot of times the same police officers coming back. And it just, again, tells me how valued this event is in the community. And we can only do it because of those partnerships.
Yep. Absolutely. Okay. Well, Kathy, what are you doing for this year's Lemonade Days?
Always a bit behind the scenes and helping Hope with ads and stuff early on.
Yeah.
And then I'm currently working for the city, so I get real jazzed about it with the communications that my department puts out through the city's communications efforts and the D-News, etc.
Yeah. And you can keep an eye on.
I'll be there though. My husband's always there every day from Wednesday to Sunday.
Yeah.
So he'll be there, and I'll be there with
I always see
every chance I get.
Yep. So what's new at this one? Anything new this year?
Yeah, I'm glad you asked that. A couple of things. So, we really wanted to be frank, to mark this milestone for a lot of reasons. And so for the 21st, 25th anniversary, we've kind of gone back to grassroots. So we are, we're not having the big performance stage. We're not having Dunwoody Idol. And we have actually crafted a spot in the kids area, which incidentally will be playing to the beer garden. And it's called the Band Shelf. And we have it's a plug and play. So members of our community who have bands, who are soloists,
that's cool.
Just reach out. Yeah, I mean, it's real old school, and it is a plug and play. And so Friday evening begins the entertainment. We've got Oscar the Killer on Saturday night or Friday night. We've got a kindergarten band. We've got some soloists on Saturday. Folks can check the website for the full.
Cool. Do people have to sign up? You sign up ahead of time?
Well, I'm full, okay.
So you don't sign
there's
up
next year.
You go there to watch.
Yeah, but we also have, I think, a cool new addition. There's a bit of a large kind of demonstration area in front of the band shell.
Mm.
And we've got some of our sponsors that are doing demos. So we have Atlanta Karate doing demos. The Little Gym is doing a demo. We actually have a new first time sponsor. It's a boxing club, and they're going to be doing some demos. So I think it brings a little bit of a different element.
Okay.
I think also where it is pretty accessible
Yeah.
to where it's going to be. And then a couple of cool things. We have a chalk art station, so folks can leave their mark. Those budding artists. So we've expanded from the music realm to the art realm. We also have a cool campaign. It's called Lemonade Days Legacy. And so if if your parents grew up coming to Lemonade Days and they now bring you your Lemonade Days legacy, and you can stop by the booth, the volunteer check-in booth, and you can get your Lemonade Days legacy lanyard. That is a lot to say.
There's a lot of
on
L's.
it. Yeah, so and then, as usual, the food and the beverage, and the carnival rides, and just meeting your neighbors and making new friends and seeing your old friends. And so yeah, I do want to put out as well that family night this year. In the past, it's been Wednesday and Thursday, so this year it is just Wednesday night.
Okay.
So all those who want to save $10 on a wristband, come on Wednesday. All those who don't want to be a part of that, what is sure to be an enormous crowd, then save it for Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Yes. And I always tell people, if you have like a young family, to go on Wednesday and Thursday. That's when you can ride the rides, and it's not like crazy lines. Friday and Saturday is there's just so much going on. And so if you make it on Wednesday and Thursday, that's when you want to go ride the rides, and then come on the weekends for all of the fun.
Yeah. Or come every night.
Yeah, well, you do come we end up at least coming 2 nights a week.
You could do that.
Yes.
So so I do also, we're going to have something I think is kind of cool. We've created a festival flashback booth, and that's really, I think, to recognize and to honor those folks who made this happen. And Kathy will talk a little bit about the whole history of the festival, so people can stop by the booth. It's next to our membership booth. We've got past t-shirts. We've got write-ups about the festival. We should have some video rolling of the history of the festival, of DPT, and how this event has played a part in the community from early on through moving present. And so I think that's something I definitely want to put out, because that's something new and different that we're doing just this year to commemorate the 25th.
Discover Dunwoody is dedicated to enhancing the visitor experience in our city. They actively seek feedback from visitors to improve services and ensure that they have a memorable stay here. From providing comprehensive guides on local attractions to making accommodations easy to find. So if you know somebody looking to stay in Dunwoody, remind them to check out discoverdunwoody.com/What's Up Dunwoody for hotel options. By booking through that link, you'll be supporting this show and helping to promote our local businesses. So, let's make sure that every visitor leaves with unforgettable memories of our beautiful city.
Kathy, tell us about that.
Well, I'll tell you a little bit about how Lemonade Day started.
Yes.
And that was with a big giant tornado.
Yeah.
In 1998. And right after the tornado, it was immediately clear that people wanted to embrace, help one another, help the businesses that were affected, and get our resolve back into the community. And one of the first things that happened is that particularly Joyce Almacher, the late Joyce Almacher, love her so much, started with some others, started a adjunct of the Dunwoody Preservation Trust, which was already in existence, but it was fledgling at that time. It was pretty new. She started a group called the Replant the Dunwoody Forest Initiative as part of the DPT. And she had some lofty goals, and she met every single one of them. And in celebration of that, and her goals were all about reforesting the 100,000 trees that were lost in that tornado. And after a year, I think it took about a little more than a year to reach the goal of 25,000 new trees planted. But for the first year, there was a celebration that we called a, anniversary celebration, or a commemoration of all that had the good things that had happened since that horrid night in 1998, and that was in 1999. And there was a run and a walk through Kingsley and a number of different things, some community celebrations at a couple of the churches, etc. And then the following year, in 2000, is when we wanted to do another celebration, but this time give it a new twist, no pun intended, and called it Lemonade Days.
Okay.
And talk about legacies. I think I'm one of the few people that have been to every single Lemonade Days, but my grandchildren are double legacies, because that's why I was so excited. That's why I was so involved and loved Lemonade Days from the very start, is because my kids were at an age where I really loved the opportunity for them to see their friends outside of school, and to, do something fun and small town that, you just don't get that many opportunities for anymore. But now my kids are, my grandkids are coming.
Yeah.
So they're double legacies.
And you get to be that babysitter this weekend, right? Or next weekend?
That weekend, I will be babysitting all weekend long.
Yes.
So I'll be dragging. I'm sure
Is there a double legacy lanyard, Hope? Is that a thing?
Well, apparently now there is.
You have to stitch people together.
Yay.
Yeah.
And
Thomas and Claire, double legacies.
Yes. Well, I don't know if I can put a lanyard around Claire, but I'll definitely, Bubbles, which is his nickname, we'll put one around Thomas. So yeah, we're good on excellent. Kathy, thank you so much for giving some really awesome perspective about why we call it, when life gives us lemons, we make lemonade, because that is exactly what you, as one of the on the ground from the beginning, making it happen throughout all these 2 decades and a half. And I think that's what Dunwoody does. That's what our community does. We rally around each other, and we just make it happen. So thank you.
Well, I had a ball writing this article for the Dunwoody Digest about the history. And I thought, I could not remember all of the details, but then I looked back and I wrote a weekly column in the Dunwoody Crier for 16 years. And it started right after the tornado, because of the tornado. And so I got out my scrapbooks and started going through every April. I have them in order. So I had 10 or 12 different books to go through. And every time I'd get close to April, I'd start reading what I had written about what was to come, and was able to put together this timeline, which I had frankly forgotten, a good half of, in some cases, and put together the timeline of exactly what happened each year. And I had a ball doing that. And I'm very proud of this article. I hope lots of people have read it.
Yeah. I feel like it's growing bigger and bigger each year too.
Oh, no question. It started out as a few of us, and I won't even say I did this part, but Joyce Almacher and some others making games where, like, beanbag toss in a clown's face kind of thing. Yeah. And that's the first Lemonade Day, that was about the second Lemonade Days.
Yeah.
And that was at Dunwoody Village, and then it was over at the farmhouse on Chambly Dunwoody at Mount Vernon, the Cheeks Brule House. And then it moved to Brook Run long before Dunwoody was a city. Yeah. It was still just the park that DeKalb County had that was, didn't have the playground, didn't have the niceties, any of the niceties that it has now. But it started out there, was it 2003, I think it went to Brook Run.
Yeah, it's a good spot for it now.
So,
now you got that amphitheater, Hope? That's real nice.
It is. And, when I first began producing this, we were down there. The space for the festival, the footprint was down there. I say down there where the amphitheater and the new lovely lawn is now. And then 5 years ago, the space was recreated, and we have the awesome amphitheater. But then the footprint didn't really work for what we were doing. So we were moved to the front of the park, which we love, which is brilliant, which is really absolutely the most perfect footprint. We could not have built one any better.
Yeah.
And speaking of partnerships, I gotta I got to applaud Peachtree Rides because when they were approached to partner with us and bring their big carnival rides, they were very skeptical. They frankly thought they couldn't understand why we would be successful because carnival rides, their population, their attendance is because of drive-bys.
Right.
So you got to see it. We're in a park
Can't see
covered
it
by
at all.
trees. And so he, kudos to Ray Guthrie, who took a chance on us because he has been quoted as saying, there's no way this is going to be successful. And it was, and it is because of our community, because he had to trust that our community was going to know we were there, was going to support us being there. And it's now his most successful festival that he carnival rides to. So, partnerships extend and trust and faith in what we can do here in our hood is something that is very valued to us. And so thank you to all the festival goers throughout 2.5 decades. And please come this year.
Yes.
Who continue to give us your support and to wanting to be a part of this.
And it starts Wednesday and it runs through Sunday. What were the dates of that? You got those in front of you?
Yes. So Wednesday, April 23rd is kickoff.
Okay.
It will run Wednesday, Thursday, Friday from 4 p.m. until 10 p.m. Saturday, it is a full-on 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. Sunday, it is noon until 6. I do want to point out the ever popular and really why most people come on the weekends, pony rides and petting zoo will be there. And also, parking is available. Check the website. The parking is available at the local churches, Peachtree Rides. And I really want to put out that, please take advantage, families, individuals, take advantage of our Uber, Lyft, parent drop-off, which is so easy to accommodate. You don't have to get into all the traffic passing the front of the park. It's right there at the baseball fields parking. There are no games that are going on. You can pull up, you can drop off, and you can exit out the back of the park. So
is all this information on the website too?
it is.
Okay.
It's on the website, along with our food and beverage listing. Thank you to our sponsors who about 90% of my sponsors every year repeat. Thank you to Brett with Village Orthodontics, little shout out.
Go. The most important sponsor.
Every year and for giving us this opportunity. Yeah. So, and lastly, I want to put out that our Honorary Miss Lemonade Days Queen, of which Kathy Florence is a former Honorary Miss Lemonade Days Queen, is Dolores Lauderdale. She has been a part of DPT for going on 2 decades. I honor someone who I feel has given tirelessly of their energies and effort, their love, for being always there for us. And she's been a Dunwoody Idol judge in the past.
Yeah.
I also want to point out that she is a former Mrs. Georgia.
Yep, I remember saying that.
I think our lemon crown with the hot blue lemon, it might be a little more special to her than that. Maybe. I don't know.
Maybe.
I think the other heavier, but kids and adults alike can take their picture with our Honorary Miss Lemonade.
Okay, well, I'll link to that. And anything else you want to mention before we go?
Sorry.
Yeah, I don't know what just happened there. Say that again, Kathy.
I said, be there, Lemonade Days. It's going to be a great time.
There you go. Perfect exit. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Matt.
Thank you.